We are in the throes of one of the biggest tech privacy scandals in a very long time. It's now apparent that the data analytics firm Cambridge Analytica, which worked for the Trump campaign, we learned over the last 24 hours based on a Channel 4 report that they engage in everything from the hiring of prostitutes to blackmail setups and entrapment in order to work for their clients. Cambridge Analytica, working for the Trump campaign in the most recent presidential election, inappropriately gained access to the data of 50 million Facebook users. The data of those 50 million users ended up in the hands of Cambridge Analytica, and according to some reports, has not been deleted. Cambridge Analytica says that they don't have the data. It's unclear. Facebook saying we've asked them to delete it, but they haven't, and a completely different story being told by CA. When I heard that please delete, it reminds me of when Hillary went to Wall Street and told them, hey, you've got to cut it out. Right, I'm sure they'll get right on deleting that incredibly valuable data about 50 million Facebook users. And the details of this are somewhat complex. They involve a particular app made by a University of Cambridge lecturer called This Is Your Digital Life, all one word, no spaces. This Is Your Digital Life. The app launched in 2014, and the app, through an entity called Global Science Research, took users to a survey. These surveys are common online. And the survey paid them $1 or $2. And as most of these apps do, it requested access to Facebook user information. 270,000 users went ahead and gave the app that permission. But the app was able to also harvest information of a total of 50 million users, most of whom did not give permission, like the 270,000 users. Now, this is already bad enough. But we've also learned that the professor working on this, Alexander Kogan, who ironically enough might be Russian, was actually working on the behalf of Strategic Communication Laboratories, which owns Cambridge Analytica, and who was working for the Donald Trump campaign. Full circle once again. Cambridge Analytica, who's dealing with multiple scandals at once at this point, is saying they didn't know where the data came from, that this is all GSR and Kogan, and they weren't told exactly how they got the data. And of course, if they had known how they got the data, they would have turned it down. Now, does anybody believe that the company that has no problem using prostitutes for honey traps and blackmail entrapment would have a problem receiving Facebook user data if they knew where it came from? I'm having a hard time with that. Cambridge Analytica says in a statement, quote, when it subsequently became clear that the data had not been obtained by GSR in line with Facebook's terms of service, Cambridge Analytica deleted all data received from GSR. So that I don't believe. But the big question, Cambridge Analytica aside, is, was Facebook complicit? And if so, to what degree? And the answer is, we don't know. Mark Zuckerberg is now being summoned by British officials, British elected officials. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission in the United States, is starting to look into Facebook. And here's really the bottom line. I hate to break it to you, and I don't think this is going to be news to a lot of people in our audience. This is Facebook's business model. Now, yeah, this went further. But if you listen to my interview about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I don't remember exactly how long ago, with Antonio Garcia Martinez, who developed a lot of the Facebook ad infrastructure. If you read his book, Chaos Monkeys, Facebook is fundamentally a user data firm, right? It's not a social network primarily. It's not a marketer. It's not a messaging app, even though it does those things and has those features. This is a user data company. And Edward Snowden tweeted something along these lines when the news broke, saying businesses that make money by collecting and selling detailed records of private lives were once plainly described as surveillance companies. Their rebranding as social media is the most successful deception since the Department of War became the Department of Defense. I learned in an early college communication class a line that goes something like this. If you're not sure what the product is and you're not paying for anything, it's probably you. Or said another way, the product is your attention. What is being bought and sold is getting your eyeballs onto an advertisement or a piece of content or whatever. And that is exactly what is going on here. Arguably, this went further. And we will see to what degree Facebook was aware of what was going on. What did happen immediately is that Facebook's stock price dropped when the news broke. this is probably not going to impact their bottom line directly, right? Advertisers advertising with Facebook, and we've advertised with Facebook, by the way, are doing it because Facebook has such great user data, not despite that reality. Yeah, this creates a PR problem for Facebook. It's going to make regulators want to regulate Facebook, but it's not really a business problem until the regulation actually hurts them. For the individual user, it's basically cost benefit, right? If you use Facebook, I use Facebook, Pat uses Facebook, we realize, or at least I think we would be wise to realize, that our data, our preferences, our likes, our friends, our activity, it could end up almost anywhere. Is that worth it to have Facebook and use Facebook? For a lot of people, it is. And there's a broader question here, right? What is the long-term impact of companies having such accurate and precise data about our preferences? We know that when it comes to news, the consequence of targeting at the level that is possible is echo chambers and algorithms that feed our biases and increase political partisanship. And that gets me to a really important line from Molly McHugh. Molly McHugh wrote a great article about this yesterday, where she says, it doesn't matter if you don't use your Facebook feed for politics, your Facebook feed is using you for politics. And I think that that is something we all sort of need to be aware of here, right? With products and services, it's okay, well, they might be able to really well target, accurately target ads so that you'll buy stuff or sign up for services. With elections, it's potentially deciding the outcome of who our elected officials are. And thus, even if you say, I don't really read news on Facebook, I don't really care about this or that, I'm just on there for the pictures or sharing stuff with my family, even if you aren't doing politics on Facebook, these algorithms are having political impact. I don't know, and I wouldn't even dream of trying to predict what is ultimately going to happen in terms of regulation, but this is only the beginning of that in terms of an FTC investigation and summons from the United Kingdom of Mark Zuckerberg, and we will see where it goes. But this is a major, major tech privacy scandal. Today's program is sponsored in part by Brilliant. If you watch our channel or listen to the podcast, yeah, you're into politics and you follow the daily news and you want to be informed about the world around you. But maybe you also want to dig a little deeper. And on the program, we talk about climate change and taxes and technology, political philosophy, to really understand these issues at a deeper fundamental level. You have to familiarize yourself with what's actually sort of underpinning all of it. And that's math and philosophy and the hard sciences and social sciences. And that's where Brilliant comes in. It's a truly unique and innovative online learning service which lets you master important real-world math and science concepts. This includes probability and statistics, logic and problem solving, renewable energy, climate science, criminology, you name it. And you can get started right this second by signing up for free at brilliant.org/David Pakman. The first 200 people who do that at brilliant.org/David Pakman will also qualify for 20% off an annual premium membership. That is brilliant.org/David Pakman. Check it out today.